What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K, and I'm here with none other than
Cause
he.
I'm a cowboy. Oh man, what's going on, guys? How's it going?
It's going great, man. Look, there could be no better person, no livelier person that I could be here with to kick off this fantastic day, which is Stadia Community Day, man. So before we get into all the tasty goodness that we're going to experience today, let's first introduce ourselves to those that may not be that familiar with the community, the platform, all that good stuff. You know what, Cowboy? Let's while you still got that piping hot energy, let's get you to introduce yourself to those that may not know who we are at the moment.
Guys, I am known in the Stadia community as the cowboy. Some may take it a step over and call me the Stadia Cowboy, which I definitely I take that. But I am a big fan of cloud gaming and particularly Stadia. So I create a lot of content for the platform itself, and I host various different shows showing off the tech and just having talk shows about it. And I'm also the head of the Stadia Bash community, which is a community of Stadia players, and they have different time slots where each week they play Stadia, or they have various different time slots where they could even do talk shows and they get creative and come up with game shows and all type of stuff just for the cloud gaming platform we know and love as Stadia.
All right. And for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is MM2K. I am also a Stadia community member, and I'm part of a team of content creators and writers of the StadiaDosage platform. We have a YouTube-based platform, a web-based platform, and a little bit Twitch platform that we tap into every now and again. And we do content all specific to Stadia, and some sprinkles of cloud gaming altogether. So there are plenty of us that love this platform, that play it on a regular basis. So if we're not talking about it on StadiaDosage News, where you're at right now, you can head on over to StadiaDosage Streams, where you'll see individuals like myself and the homie Squids over there playing some good old Stadia games. All right. Well, now that everybody knows who we are and why we're so excited and so damn loud all the time, let's get into what we kind of covered, I guess, what Stadia content we do provide, right, Cowboy? Or do you think we could elaborate further? Or should we go on to the next thing?
So yeah, let me just dial into that a little bit. Yeah. If you guys could think of game streaming, right? Whether it's on my channel, which is Now Your Mama Knows, whether it's on StadiaDosage, and you do some stuff yourself sometimes, but you can find game streams, so meaning that you'll find a content creator who is playing a game, and it's really interesting because a lot of content creators, they interact with their audience. So you guys are going to kind of see a lot of this, but they do a good job at not just playing the game, but they take pride of interacting with the viewers. There are various shows, when I mentioned earlier, I mean, we could go on and on, from Cloud Thoughts, we could go from Game Over. There's just a lot of content creators who created whole shows, whether it's a talk show or a game show, around Stadia content. And those are different things you'll see in our Stadia community. And just to go a little bit in detail, there is some pretty interesting stuff. You want to jump on there?
Yeah, well, I was going to tap your brain a little bit more. I mean, you briefly brought it up, but we do something like this, or you do something like this, on every day with the Stadia Bash community. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you could speak to what drove you guys to do that, because that's the heart and spirit of what we're going to do today.
Definitely. So there was we was inspired by used to be called Stadia Super Saturday, which it was a all day thing, 24 hours. I think when I joined it was 36 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And we just felt that inspired us, that what if there was a community of Stadia content creators who, hey, if I go at 10 o'clock, you go at 11 o'clock, you go at 12 o'clock, and we decide let's do our own thing, but on a weekly basis, not just a weekend thing. So we pretty much there's streamers streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at different times, or even random times. We open it up now where you can stream as long as you want, because it used to be for 1 hour. So yeah, I pretty much host a group of people who just love this platform. And if you're new, this is a great way to get into the Stadia community. And if you're new as a content creator, it's really good. So we've had a lot of people who kind of made a name for themselves. And some of the bigger channels like MM2K, seen some stars like our guy Squids, but he got to start with us. And, you know, even people like Alex, where CGX got him to be a streamer. So it's just something we take pride in, of helping newer content creators kind of get a name out there. For instance, if you say, hey, I'm streaming Stadia content, I want to link up with Stadia Bash community, cool. So now we got a group of people, right, that'll say, hey, we want to check you out because you're new. We want to tweet you out because you're new. We want to help you get out there and allow you to have a little extra footing on finding, or people finding your content, because I think everyone's a star in their own right. It's just that you need a platform to be seen, and that's all it is, really. So we just help people be seen.
Absolutely. I mean, that's important because I like to go over data sets and numbers and things like that all the time as we deal with people who have questions about Stadia. And one of the things that I try to tell people is sometimes me and Cowboy sometimes will make fun of them, but you know, people curl their lips and get in the corner like, oh, Stadia didn't get my favorite game day and date, and I'm a little upset. You know, like, we're gonna revolt and we're gonna shut this thing down. I'm like, well, Stadia at least gets about 1,000 to 1,500 new engagements a day. So if you 25 people decide to leave, it's not gonna put a huge dent into anything. So with that being said, even though we use it as a joke to poke fun sometimes and do it in good spirit, the fact of the matter is that there's new content viewers and potentially content creators that are born every day on this platform. Yes. They get charmed by it. And then, you know, it's great that they come across Stadia Bash community. What we want to do on top of that is just have these periodic events to where we really put a spotlight on, hey, look, here's who's in the community. And in some cases, people who've never streamed before, you know, just to show the wonders of Stadia. So with all that said, Cowboy, I want to pick your brain again.
Yes, sir.
Because again, a lot of people don't know what Stadia, they don't know what the heck that we're talking about. So in your words, can you break down what Stadia is for those that may be new to the platform?
100%. So if you know me, MM, I'm a little so I got videos with me walking through the mall asking people, do they know what cloud is? As I'm trying to educate people. But when I've done those things, everyone knew what an Xbox and a PlayStation is, right? So I'm bringing this up because everybody listening to the words of my voice, the sounds of my voice, they would be able to say, oh, I know what that is, right? If I say Stadia, you probably like, I don't get that. So if you just think of a PlayStation and an Xbox, you know you have to spend money to purchase a box and put it connected to your TV. And then that would give you your image that comes on TV screens come from that box. Just think of cloud gaming or Stadia, you get rid of the box, right? You typically probably have something at home that can beam something to your TV. If you got a laptop or a PC, you could just type in www.stadia and your library of games come up. Or even if you have a phone, you can go into your phone and download the Stadia app, or you could even go into the web browser and pull up Stadia. So Stadia is a way to play video games, but without purchasing an essential component that people need if you're a fan of the other platforms, because you need a specific thing. So for instance, if I went on vacation, I could just take my phone and a controller, and when I get wherever I'm at, or even in the car, because it works on the internet, so it could be your mobile service or your mobile data, or it could be Wi-Fi, or, you know, if you got a computer Ethernet cable, right? So it's just pretty much a way to play your game. I like to call this limitless gamers. You're able to, as long as the mobile service is good, and as long as your internet service is good, you can play your video games pretty much anywhere. So if you just thought you went on a trip, you went to a hotel, I even got a video where I went to the Motel 6. Guys, I'm on Motel 6 Wi-Fi. All right, I'm pretty sure you know that ain't amazing. And my wife and I were sitting there playing games off of my phone. We connected 2 controllers to my phone as if it was an Xbox or a PlayStation, and we were able to play a game together. So it is in essence, Stadia is cloud gaming, which is a way to play your video games without purchasing a console.
Yeah,
and I mean, that's elaborate a little more on that with some more detail.
And also, just to add to that, let's see here. I was trying to pull up a graphic. If you go to the Stadia help pages here, let me pull this up. You go to the Stadia help pages right here, which you can do. I just typed in the internet needed, the amount of internet needed to play Stadia, and they explained it to you here. The requirements for 4K. Yes, you can stream 4K over the internet, and it's fantastic on Stadia. On a TV, they tell you to use the Chromecast Ultra, or if you have a 4K compatible Android TV device, if you have an AV receiver or soundbar, and you can connect that as well. On Windows, you just need a 4K capable device, and you can use Google Chrome. It uses what is called a VP9 hardware decoding codec. So that is fantastic. But those are the hardware requirements. But here's the internet usage requirements. Well, it tells you what the usage is. Data usage up to 4K is 20 gigabytes per hour. 1080p is 12.6, and 720 is 4.5 gigabytes per hour. So idealistically, you'll want to have unlimited internet, or if you're monitoring your internet, make sure there's not a lot of activity in your house. I'm trying to find the part where it gives you the graphic of how much internet you need.
I knew you was looking for that. So it's 10 megabytes per second. There it is.
Yeah, here it goes right there. Yep.
If you want to do 720p at 1080, and if you want to do 4K, you need 25.
Let me see if there's an image for that. There was a nice. There it goes. I'm looking for that nice little image right there that details that for you. There it goes. Now, from what people have experienced, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Cowboy, but from what people have experienced, they're telling me, like, I'm doing it off of 5 megabytes,
Right. Yeah, that's what people are noticing. But I think they had to put this up just to give you, like, you don't want to say you could do it with 4, right?
Exactly.
Hey, you need 10, you need 25. But I think people are noticing they're not needing that much, which is amazing.
The compression has gotten a lot better over time, definitely. And they told you that. They'll tell you, and if you follow the content creators that you're going to see today, Cowboy, myself, Rock, there's going to be some names that'll be familiar to you, John Scar, even Stadia Pro Game. When they talk about this stuff, they keep you up to date as when these, the better compression, the things that deal with the AI and the machine learning and stuff like that, how that gets better, when that gets better, so it's also important for events like this to help connect you to those people, so you know what's going on with the tech in the community. So all great stuff, man. I mean, it's just great information to have for, especially information to have for people, Cowboy, that don't realize how far along this technology is, and particularly Stadia's technology it is, and how well games look, how well they perform, how smooth the play is, and all that other stuff. It's just great that we have opportunities like this to showcase that to people.
Let me even add this. There's going to be, guys, it's going to wow you. So let's say you wanted to be a content creator and you said, well, I don't have that much stuff, right?
Yep.
Stadia allows you the bar to enter being a content creator has never, as long as I've been a gamer, been this simple. There's going to be some people that you're going to be watching, right? And you might not see them on screen. You're going to hear their voice. They're going to be playing off of a phone.
Yep.
So, and you're going to see it looks amazing because what's coming from the cloud to their device is actually being relayed to you, the viewer.
Yep.
And it's gonna wow you that I can essentially take my phone and go somewhere, and even without a controller, because you got touch controls, and stream this to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please, guys, hear me out.
Yep.
I could take just my phone and stream and do a live YouTube video with gameplay, and it can be up to 4K.
Yes.
So it's definitely an amazing service, and what you guys are going to see today is going to probably blow you away a little bit when you think of everyone who's streaming gameplay. It's not coming from a $400 or $500 device.
Exactly. Yep. And a lot of you, when you watch this content, you might say, okay, I mean, I can't believe this. IGN told me otherwise. These people look and sound like you're all having fun. How can I get into this? Well, we'll tell you, and we'll remind you if we can, before we end this, is that you can get into this right now. You can play one of the best games on the platform right now, free this weekend. It's called Division 2. You know what I mean? You can play it from your phone or play it from any device. Millions of inputs or outputs that you can play this from right now. So definitely, it's technology that you don't want to overlook because it could really benefit you. So that's our explanation of Stadia in a nutshell. But Cowboy, I want to now circle back to, okay, why we're doing this event. We get it. You know, we can play on the phone and all this other stuff. But why are we wasting people's times to get them together for 20 hours to do this event? What do you got to say about that?
There is a lack of knowledge for this platform. And it's important for me to not only be part of a community, a growing community, might I add, but to also help public awareness, right? So when you think of video games, you think of PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. But there are these smaller sectors because cloud gaming isn't as popular. But an event like this does show that this is growing. You wouldn't get, what we have, 22 slots, something like that. You wouldn't get 22 essentially hours, right? You wouldn't get an all-day event if this wasn't growing or this wasn't something that was sought after, that people actually want to be a part of. So number one, I in the essence of the Stadia Bash community, we originally wanted to show people who didn't know about Stadia what it was, and to kind of bring more people in. But then that's number one, right? The public awareness. So this is a big deal. But number two is for our own community, our own morale, like our own, you know, this is really good for us because we have certain days, you know, you'll see these guys and girls that do weekly, I mean, every single week at a certain day, a certain time, they do community streams where they invite anybody to play. But on a large scale of this, it's pretty much a marathon. Somebody's going to run. And when it hits the next hour, they're going to hand the baton. And that person's going to jump from their stream to their own stream. And the viewers are going to jump from that stream to the next stream. And we're going to do this all day. And it's just an amazing, like, event, a marathon, Olympics, if you will. And I think something like that is just, it shows how much passion we have for the Stadia platform. And again, if you could be an Xbox fan, if you could be a PlayStation fan, a Nintendo fan, just know there are Stadia fans. There are Stadia fans, and that's what, those are the two main things for me that makes this really important.
I think that it's also important too that for new gamers that get the platform, like I referenced the 1,000 to 1,500 new engagements. Well, trust me, that 1,000 to 15 new engagements aren't coming from IGN or GameSpot, right? And I know I may, for those of you that are new, it may sound like I'm picking on your favorite publications, but I'm here to tell you, someone that's been covering this platform for 2.5 years, some of, if not most of the major platforms just don't get what Stadia is about, what their goals are, how right now they're just a smaller business they're a small business that has a lot to provide, you know what I mean? And they're just getting their selves grounded for long term when they can really become part of mainstream gaming where everybody be like, oh, okay, now I get it. But it doesn't mean that you can't indulge yourself now, and a lot of you have done it, but you haven't come in through IG or anything like that, so you don't know where to go. You don't know who to listen to, and I don't know so much with Cowboy, but for me, when I first started creating content way back in early 2020, I didn't know who else was doing this. And I happened to stumble across a couple of content creators. One that goes by the name of Virtual Cloud, now used to be Generation Stadia. And Ace was one of them as well, doing for Cloud Gaming Extreme. And then it was only then that I started creating content, and I started like really doing research, pulling out my monocle and looking through YouTube. Right. That I find other people. But I get a lot of you guys don't have that time. So what we're trying to do is take all the resources, all the experts, all the SMEs, as we say in my line of business, or subject matter experts of Stadia. We're trying to bring them together along with just some fresh, invigorating faces and personalities that are just in the community playing games. I'm bringing them all together. So not only are you educated, but then you're just having fun. You know what I mean? So that's why I think it was also important to put this together. So as we start to get to the wrap up before we go to the first stream, I want to ask you, Cowboy, why is it even important that Stadia exists to you? Why is Stadia important to you?
So I got to answer that with a little story.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a PlayStation fan for a very long time. I was also an Xbox fan, but my most recent platform of choice was PlayStation. And what I like about you and I, because you used to be Xbox and I was PlayStation, so we could give you stories.
Can relate.
My one thing is I used to work at a job where I had a lot of free time, and I was a huge Destiny player. And Destiny back then, Destiny 1, where it was so much farming. We used to take Saturdays. You could take a whole day to do farming. And I said, man, if I had a way to play my games at work, it would be amazing, because I had an office where I closed my door, right? And calls came in to me. So if calls didn't come in, it was my free time. I could do whatever I want. And I would have loved to have a way to play my game. So I had got a PSP Vita. And I'm thinking, my friend was like, dude, you could do what's called remote play. I said, what? Yeah, what's on your screen at home, you can mirror it to your Vita, and you could be able to do that at work. I said, great. And I'll tell you this. Man, listen, the only thing I was going to be doing is farming, because you wasn't going to be able, I'm not even talking about the graphical fidelity, because that was terrible.
Yeah.
But the latency was so bad, it was impossible.
Yeah.
And this goes back to what we were saying earlier, that what you could do being low. It was just because my job's internet was very bad, right? It's internet, right?
Yep.
And at the time, you couldn't use mobile service because this thing, it didn't have like a SIM card tray or whatever, or either way, I wasn't putting my mobile service on this device, right? So It was going off of the Wi-Fi, and it was low, so it just couldn't do it. So I always tinker with remote play. I had my laptop trying to do remote play, because it's one thing to have my wife say, hey, I want to use the TV, right? And you plug this $500 box up to a TV, and that's where you playing. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So we fighting over the TV. I'm like, man, and then I got to move to the TV in the bedroom. Guess what? I got to unhook this thing and carry it to the bedroom. And hold up, guys. Give me like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll get back on the game. I got to do all this. So remote play, I thought, man, this is the answer that I'm looking for, where I could just play away from the TV if my wife needed.
Mm-hmm.
Remote play just never came through.
Yeah.
The tech just wasn't there.
Yep.
So when I heard of this Stadia thing, it's going to allow you to play on your phone, and you could just switch from your TV to your phone to your laptop to whatever, and you only need a very low amount of megabytes to do it. I'm like, this is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I forget Stadia. It wasn't a thing. I was into remote play.
Exactly.
This is what I wanted before I knew of a Stadia. Before Google probably even talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Stadia had the potential to let me do something that I always wanted to do.
Yep.
And what they end up doing was, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna jump on this. It's only $130 in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But the Founders Edition.
Yeah.
Came with a controller, the Chromecast Ultra, and Stadia Pro for 3 months or something like that. And that's all I needed. And lo and behold, it worked. It really did work, and it did something better. With remote play, I wasn't going to be able to just, switch off of one thing to the other, because once I had to switch, then I had to pretty much shut it down and go, because it was going on an app. So let's say I logged into remote play on my laptop, but now I want to go on my phone. Well, I had to shut it down and then start it back up. Stadia. I'm talking about snap your fingers. I could be playing on my TV in the living room. My wife say, "Hey, I want to watch my show." No problem. I could be talking to the guys with my headset on. Hold on, guys. I'm about to just go to my room. Matter of fact, just keep playing. And I just walk in the bedroom and it's on my laptop.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go on my phone. So the reason why it's so important for me is because Stadia allows me to do something that I personally wanted. And so, guys, I was a diehard PlayStation fan. And Stadia, when I first got into it, I was still buying games on PlayStation. And slowly, I was like, man, I'm playing the Stadia thing. And I used to cover a lot of PlayStation stuff. And then my Stadia streams became more popular than my PlayStation streams. And I just end up only covering Stadia. And that helped my channel tremendously. My channel ended up blowing up because people was really into my Stadia content. I met Stadia Source and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Very dedicated communities, definitely. Yep. And when they find content creators that are dedicated to the platform, and again, it doesn't have to be your main platform. It's just, it just happens to be ours, And again, we still game on other stuff. You still game on PlayStation. I game on PC, but we understand and appreciate this tech. Yeah, I'm going to say just, real quick that why it's important to me is as a streamer. I think that this Stadia, its biggest attribute for me was the streaming aspect. I had a powerful rig. I put it together and I was struggling to get 60 frames per second. And then when Stadia came, it fixed that. It's not heavy on your resources because it's going through the cloud. 60 frames per second, boom, was there on the games where they're present. And it's been great streaming ever since then. And you guys can just go to StadiaDosage streams and check out our streams and see that's why.
Just for the people who might not understand, when you say streaming, you mean the games coming to you that you could play, not that you're streaming to YouTube. So
exactly. Yep. Now when I'm streaming to YouTube, and it's gotten even better. Yes, when streaming to YouTube, you can literally do it from a shoebox and get a 1440p 60 stream. It's amazing. And you're going to see that today. You're going to, like Cowboy said earlier, you're going to see people that if they didn't tell you, you wouldn't believe that they were streaming from the most normally incapable devices.
Right.
But all because of Stadia's tech, it looks fantastic in your eyes. You know what I mean? We can do this real quick before we close out, because I actually think that your stream is first, right, Cowboy?
Yes, it is.
All right, so we're going to go over, this is, if you go to StadiaDosage.com, we got a story up there about today's fantastic event. And this is just a run through of the events that we have. So, of course, me and Cowboy are kicking it off at 6:30 Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. None other than, and now your mama knows, Cowboy himself, same person in case you didn't realize it. He's going to be
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Did I say p.m.? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you said p.m.
7 a.m. is going to kick it off. And then up and rising star Purple Haze. She's going to come on at 8. Then the kill.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
I got some of the little insight I want to throw in there. And guys, she's going to be playing Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are going to want to check that out and get another great game on the platform. We got John Scar following up, Ryzak, Jeff, Rock is going to be going on at 12 p.m. And so as you can see, you look at the schedule, they're all back to back. I'm sorry I'm going so fast. We're almost out of time. But Stadia Pro Gaming, if we could talk about this real quick, Cowboy, what is he doing at the 1 p.m. hour?
So the reason why he's the only person on here that has 2 hours, because he does an amazing job. So Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, he does at 1 p.m. Eastern, every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. He does a community play, and he's either playing, typically he likes to play Rainbow Six, or he'll play PUBG, sometimes Wreckfest. Today he's playing World War Z, but today he is going to be playing PUBG, and he's going to do, he's going to allow anybody to jump in, and what he's going to do is created matches where they're going to tweak the rules and stuff. And instead of going against people online out there, he's going to have all of you guys able to join in.
Wow.
For a big community play. It's going to be epic.
Amazing. All right, and then we're running close on time, so we got so many great content creators. You can see over close to 20 hours of straight content, and then I'm going to close it out at 2 a.m. I might have a guest with me, Cowboy. I might have a guest with me. We'll see. Just stay posted. But then we're going to do the thank yous to everybody for viewing and participating there. So with that said, Cowboy, we're at the 30-minute mark. I don't want to take any time away from your fantastic stream, but I will say this. It's going to be a great event. I can't wait. I'm excited. Any closing words for the viewers and the contributors?
Yeah, I just want to tell you guys that Stadia is a great platform. There might be some people who actually see this and say, "Oh wow, I've watched a bunch of streams and they all look. I wouldn't have known that this was a native hardware, right?" So I just want you guys to know that Stadia is a great platform. It's growing. There's more games coming, and it's just something that you should check out as well. And also on top of that, I think we kind of didn't mention, but it's very inexpensive. Stadia itself is free.
Yes.
Hear me out. It's free. If you got a Gmail, you could just be a part of. You could sign up, get a Stadia account, and they actually have free games that you could play right away. So you could essentially get Stadia for free and have about 6 or 7 games that you could play for free, and then you could obviously get to Stadia Pro, which is a subscription service to give you monthly games. So just know that Stadia is a really, really great, viable way to play video games.
Awesome. Yep, you definitely can't beat it. All right, with that said, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for those for participating. I will see you again at the 2 a.m. Eastern hour, and until next time, have a wonderful gaming Stadia Community Day. Woo! Peace.
Later.